Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Retro Gamer Show. Today I thought we'd do a game review, and what better one than my favourite Sega game of all time, Golden Axe. We start with one of the best years of my life when I just moved into year 3, so I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I went into a new house really close to my best friend Greg. And at this time my mum had just bought a new computer for work. Well, I say new, but it was a bit old this time. It was about a Windows 98, and to entertain us, she bought us for Christmas a Sega Mega Drive. Now, it was an older console, but we got so many amazing games with it, and I'm going to talk about it properly whenever I do a Mega Drive retrospective. But the one that meant the most to me was this game right here, Mega Games 2, a collection of 3 of the best games Sega ever made, and I'm probably going to be reviewing all of these at some point. But the one that meant the most to me was Golden Axe. What an amazing game. When you're younger, you have every opportunity to play whatever game you want, fully invested whenever you want. Whereas now I'm older, you have to jump at every chance you can to play games. So with all that freedom, it's strange that I go back to the same game, well, the same games over and over again. But that's why I'm reviewing this, is so I can just revitalise my love for it and share all my thoughts about it fresh again with all you. So enough said about all that. Here we go. Here's the Mega Drive section of the collection. Yeah, I'm here all day with these rhymes. The game we're focusing on is Mega Games 2, and I'm really lucky to say that this is my original copy of this game. It's got Revenge Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and speaking of Streets of Rage there, I mean that's going to be a whole video in itself. The soundtrack on that alone is brilliant. But let's pop this in here and have a game of Golden Axe. So let there be light, and now the best thing about making these reviews, playing the games. Here we go. The Mega Games 2 select screen, something which has been with me from my youth and it's very nostalgic to me. Just like this music from Golden Axe, absolutely amazing, some of the very best on the Mega Drive. Here's our 3 main characters as well, Axe Battler the Barbarian, Tyrant Flare the Amazon, and Gilead Thunderhead the Dwarf. They've all got their own reasons to face Death Adder, and you get to choose which one will go about that journey. I've always loved this select screen, I just think there's something special about it. The controls are simple. You click C to jump, B to attack, A to use your magic, and B and C together gives you an alternate attack as well. When the game loads up, we're given a brief synopsis about the world we're about to embark upon, and then our journey begins. Golden Axe is a side-scrolling beat-em-up based on a medieval style. It was originally brought out on arcade machines by Sega and then later ported to the Mega Drive. It became a staple for the console and ended up spawning a lifespan of 3 different games. I only ever played the first one, and it actually ended up being my favourite game that Sega ever made. It didn't have anything spectacular or unique about it. It was really similar to other beat-em-ups, but what it was a great representation of the arcade game, and with the music as well, it just seemed to be such a hit with anyone who played it, especially the fact it was 2-player was a massive bonus as well. At the end of each stage is a boss fight. I remember fighting these over and over again throughout my life. The background colour will change and the music will as well. It gives it a more ominous tone and just gets you so much more in the mood. Anyone who's played it as well will know that you should save your magic, because these guys get hit by it and still keep coming. It adds some tactics to it, and it just gives you some real excitement for fighting them each time. For anybody who is new to the series, just be careful on co-op, because you can actually damage your teammate, and also don't annoy them, because this might happen. Throughout the stages you'll also be able to utilise the beast that your enemies are using. It comes in the form of a dragon and this chicken thing. Using the terrain can also be advantageous. You can manipulate the enemy to their doom, and it's quite the sight to see. You don't know the way. Magic can be a powerful asset throughout the game and get you through a lot of tight spots. Tyrus, the person I always choose to play as, because her most powerful magic is a dragon attack. Now it's animated beautifully and it just looks so cool, and it can be devastating to the enemies as well. Speaking of magic, between stages you get to play this mini game with the Blue Thief. Now you retrieve the magic that he's just stole from you, and you get some extras as well. Sometimes he brings a Green Thief with him, and he's got some food with him which can really replenish your health and can be a big help. Now, I just enjoy playing this. It's a bit of fun between fighting the enemy, and I absolutely love the music at this part of the game. Before each upcoming stage you get to see this map and get a quick update of what's going on with the story. I always love this stage because the music is just so calming. It gives you a breath of fresh air before you go right back into battle, and by the time that the map is completely filled out and you're on the last stage, it's so fulfilling. As the game progresses, you'll come across a lot of different enemies, most of which though are the same, just with different colours to them. Now they do have different stats, but this is pretty standard for any type of beat 'em up. You also come across these villages, which I've been trying to kill unsuccessfully for years now. Special mention to this jump coming up. When I was a kid, it would take a life off me every single time, and when me and Catherine were playing, it was great seeing her try and tackle it for the first time as well. The full game lasts about 8 stages, although by the time you get to the end you won't really count the last 2 because they're more like boss fights. Now what happened with us is me and Catherine played through this whole game. Oh, also, this is her first time ever playing this, so I think she did great by the way. But what happened was I accidentally knocked my Mega Drive with my foot, and as a result I ended up crashing the game, so we got stuck on the thief minigame and we couldn't progress any further. Now I could have used a cheat code or something like that, but I didn't really want to do that. You know, I wanted to keep it authentic because it's meant to be my authentic review, I guess. But it gives me a great opportunity right now to talk about the other stuff that I got from this game's legacy. I'm just going to interject here and show you all my record collection. Now I've been collecting these about the same amount of time as I have me games, and I'm really happy with everything I've got. You can see here that I've got a soundtrack selection, and whenever I do a record tour, I guess, I'll show you all these. I've got some amazing ones. One of the very best though is the Golden Axe 1 and 2 soundtrack. I cannot believe that I got this, and I'm so happy that Data just released them. Look how amazing this is. The quality is out of this world, and it comes with these 2 prints as well. Here's the one for number 2, which I'm not quite as familiar with, but that one for number 1's been burned in my mind for years and years, and this golden record just looks absolutely beautiful. Like I said, the soundtracks are for Golden Axe 1 and 2. Now I do own number 2, but I never used to, and I've never completed it. I mean, I don't know, maybe one day I'll do a Let's Play or something like that. But what I am going to show you now is Sega Classic Collection. Now this is a release from Sega, and it's a remake of a lot of their most notorious games from the Mega Drive. Of course, Golden Axe included in this. But I've got to be honest, I can't believe Sega did such a rough job of one of the remakes of, well, one is my favourite Sega game. I'm going to show you why now, you're not going to believe this. This is what we see when the game loads up. Here's the other games that are being remade. Maybe I'll go back to these at some point, but we're focusing on Golden Axe. So we're introduced to this backstory for the game in a typical, well, very stereotypical RPG/fantasy game style with some nice emotional music and all that type of stuff. But then the moment of greatness happens. We see Death Adder and the least intimidating weapon you've ever seen in your life. Then Death Adder goes Super Saiyan. It's an amazing introduction to the game. The game begins looking quite truthful to the original and honestly pretty promising. I like the music here and I love the home screen, but don't get your hopes up too much because that's pretty much about as good as it gets. You have more options in this like survival and time attack, but we only really want to focus on arcade. You can see the new character models here. I'm going to go Tyrus as always. Here we go. Okay, so the music's not bad, don't mind the stage. Wait, Tyrus looks a bit weird there. Wouldn't you think to put a bit more detail on her face? Oh my god, so we start off the game the way we intend to go on. You can see that it's a 2D background with 3D models on top of that. It's standard, it's pretty true to the original game here. You know, I haven't got too much to say. Oh wow, that guy with the mace takes off a hell of a lot of damage early on. Alright, let's just see where we go from here. Hang on, did anyone else just see that? That's a glitch within the first 20 seconds of the game. This is not a good omen, let me tell you. Let's talk about the magic system on this game. So whenever you defeat an enemy, your green bar goes up and that's how you build up your mage. On the original game, you got your blue mana potions and that's how you did it. You just saw them there. But here I am, about a minute in, and I've already got Tyrus's dragon magic. This is the strongest move in the game, and I'm using it within 1 minute on just standard enemies. It's not the best gameplay mechanic, and to be honest, it just really ruins the flow of the game. That's the least this game's problems though, to be honest. Other than the enemies taking off way too much health with basic attacks, it's the fact that the stages just go on for so long. Each slide you see, you think, oh, the next one I'm going to be in a cutscene, or the next one I'm going to finally get to the end. But, I mean, I've used my magic time and time again throughout this, and the game is still going. When you do eventually get to the end, after fighting the same enemies in this monotonous trial, it just sort of ends. There's no satisfactory feeling at all. I mentioned cutscenes then, and here's the first one that we get. It's at the end of the second stage. Now you'll recognise these from the end of the first stage of the original Golden Axe. The cutscenes themselves are an improvement on the original game, but it's not that groundbreaking. It just gives you a little bit of fun and a bit more of a backstory to the original characters. These guys seem to think it's very funny anyway. Look at them having a great time. Anyway, you face them and you defeat them. It's taken me 25 minutes to get to this point, whereas in the original game, you face these enemies after 3 minutes. This is not good. Like its predecessor, the remake includes this scene with the thief. It's always been one of my favourite parts of the game and just a bit of light-hearted fun. So here the guy comes. Wait, hang on a minute, guy. Look at the state of this lad, he looks like a squirrel. Honestly, look at the comparison between him and the original. They don't look anything alike. How'd they mess this up so much? Even Tyrus can't believe what's going on. In all fairness to the game, later on it does have a more diverse roster of enemies and everything, and you know, seeing how they've used the old music and messed around with the old stages and everything, it is interesting, but it just doesn't leave me with any desire to keep playing the game, and I'm a big fan of the original. I just can't believe how much they messed this up. If I'd have bought this full price back in the day, I'd have been bitterly disappointed. Goodbye and good riddance. Going back to the original game now, I'm not going to give any spoilers for how the game ends, but I will show you this reward that you get if you do complete it. You get a run through the cast of all the heroes and the enemies, and it's just such a lovely touch and shows the love and enjoyment that the creators had going into this. And I'll tell you all the love and enjoyment that I've got for this game. I think it still holds up. I completed it recently. I think it's one of Sega's absolute masterpieces, and I'm going to play it over and over again, and I implore you to do the same. I love this game. Right everyone, so that's the end of my first game review. I know I'm a bit raw and inexperienced at it, but I'm just trying to learn and go from strength to strength with this all. I really just hope that it's brought back some happy memories for you, and you know, brought Golden Axe back into your mindset for 5 minutes. I think about this game all the time, especially the music. I'm so happy that Data Disc released that LP, and I'm so lucky to have it. The gold on it is just so beautiful, and it's such a great addition to my record collection. You know, I've also got some crap from this game's legacy, like the Sega collection over there. That was not the best attempt. I'd love it if Sega could one day release one, you know, just a proper one that's loyal to fans and everything, and just reinvigorates the series a bit, because I think it could come back, to be honest, especially with the Switch out now. It's a perfect type of game to be on that platform. Anyway, like I said, this is my first review, and I'm always have to get constructive criticism, so anything you guys have got to say or you'd like to see more of or less of, just let me know. I tried to put a lot more of my memories in there rather than just in-depth analysis, because that's not really the way I play games, and it's not really the way that I enjoy watching YouTube videos either. I try to go for more of a personal touch because that's what I enjoy to watch more. But like I said, I'm always happy to hear your thoughts. And also, I hope you have a beautiful night. Thank you so much for watching the video. Any subscriptions or anything like that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.